and collectively, all human beings carry the trauma of great atrocities that have been committed to human beings, since the beginning of time. So, when I have worked with these medicines, I will often have, I see a whole lot of collective suffering through a lot of transpersonal stuff comes up in a lot of my medicine experiences. And I see collective suffering that we're all going through, that we're all carrying with us. But certainly that was something that I thought, well, I had tried everything in my life. I've done psychotherapy, myotherapy, cryotherapy, mantra, tantra, hyperbaric oxygen therapy. I've tried lots of different things because I'm a performer, and for me to be at my peak best, I always want my mind and body to be in the best possible form. And I'm just getting ready now to play the role of my grandmother, who invented the foldable umbrella again in Driftwood the musical. And she was the one who miraculously escaped Nazi Austria and saved my mother's life, which is obviously why I'm here. And she was a pioneer herself, and I'm channeling her in this Driftwood the musical that we're about to present. But I sort of knew my family's background, and I just thought, what could I do that would be something different, and could I learn more? Could I expand more? Could I evolve further? And I've always been a bit of a curious seeker. And so I said to Peter, look, I think we should go to the Netherlands, and I think we should try this treatment. And so, well, actually, no, initially we reached out to Robin Carhart Harris because he was mentioned in this article. And so I reached out to Robin really early on, and he said, look, there was no trials for healthy persons, and, because we didn't have a diagnosable mental illness. And so we eventually were referred to a Dutch guide, and we flew over to the Netherlands, and, we had this extraordinary experience where we ingested some Syrian rue, and then about an hour later we had, a large dose of psilocybin. And I've got to say, I was petrified. I mean, I'm a bit of a control freak, and, to lose control, that's probably why I hadn't got drunk and, hadn't done all these things in my life, was very frightening to me. And I thought, I'm going to have a heart attack. Am I going to lose my mind? All the things that, all of this sort of stigma that's associated with these medicines sort of was flying around my head. But anyway, I did do it. And of course, it was the most life-changing experience I could have imagined, and the same for Peter. And yeah, we had that incredible unity consciousness, that experience of oneness, the profound connection with self, with others, with nature. I've never seen a seashell, a tree, a cloud, the sky, raindrop, anything the same way ever since that day. And we came out of that experience, and at that time, I think we had 4 charities between us, and we just said, wow, imagine if we could give the gift of this healing experience to people who are disadvantaged. Because mostly at the heart of any kind of disadvantage, whether it's homelessness, a disability, whatever it happens to be, usually at the base of that disadvantage lies some kind of mental illness, some kind of anxiety or depression or addiction, or some kind of trauma that is underpinning that person's disadvantage. So we can provide housing, we can provide programs and activities and food to people who are disadvantaged. But at the end of the day, if they can't get over their trauma and get to the root cause of their trauma, they're still going to remain stuck, and they're never going to be able to fish for themselves and lead meaningful, contributing lives. They're just going to stay stuck and always have to be provided with services and funds and activities. So we thought, well, imagine if we could create an ecosystem in Australia where these treatments could become available and accessible and affordable to people who really need them.